So you go on the date and you have this amazing connection and you're like in your gut, oh my gosh, this is the one. I haven't felt this way for a long time. And then all of a sudden you get home, you send a text and you start messaging the person and they don't respond. And you get this overwhelming feeling of rejection. I know that feeling. It sucks. I totally get it. And that's why I'm making this video on how to ace rejection like a boss. And for more tips on how to take charge of your love life, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So let's talk about what happens when someone just cuts us off and doesn't give us any closure. Emotionally, it feels like we're abandoned. It feels like, we're not good enough, that we are not worthy of love. Often when people feel rejected, it's because a relationship ended and was cut off before the person wanted it to end. However, beneath it all, a person is really looking for love and validation from somebody that has chosen to walk away and not continue the relationship. First, let's talk about why you might be feeling abandoned. Usually this is tied to something that, could be childhood trauma or adult trauma. And let me give you an example. Like if you grew up in a home with parents that neglected you and made you feel like you weren't enough, you're going to feel that similar abandonment like feeling, right? When people kind of pull away. And maybe you had passive aggressive parents that actually use abandonment to control you. And so it could definitely trigger from those areas. This can cause you to attract people that will reopen your wound because we tend to be attracted to things that feel familiar, even if it's really painful. So one of the best things you can do with rejection is to start self-reflecting and not wallowing in the why me type of self-reflection. No, the self-reflection that allows you to start seeing your history and your patterns like a theme to all the people that you've been dating. So if you're constantly choosing people that are emotionally unavailable and that are rejecting you, it's about self-reflecting and saying, I need to choose a different type of partner, one that's emotionally available. And what does that look like? Using these mindful tools will help you stop reliving the cycle of rejection over and over again. You'll be able to upgrade that dating picker and start choosing people that are emotionally available and that want to be in your life. While rejection really sucks, it's important that you process your emotions and acknowledge your emotions, because what resists will persist. So even though at the core you are not your emotions, it's important for you to allow your emotions to be felt through. It needs to be heard in order for it to be healed. So for example, if you need to cry, if you need to scream in a pillow, if you need to journal your anger into a book, do it. It's important that you allow yourself to be heard. It's also very important for you to give yourself an expiration time. That means if you're feeling down and you're feeling rejected and you want to throw a little tantrum about it, do it. Cry it out. I have definitely been through heartbreak, and I remember crying my eyes out and going, I'm going to give myself 3 days to process this. And once I'm done, I'm going to learn a lesson from it. I'm going to move forward because life still goes on. And by the way, I don't know if you know, crying is a great way to relieve stress. Your stress hormones actually come out in your tears. So if you have a hard time and you can't cry, if you have a hard time crying, I would go get a movie that is a major tearjerker to you and just watch that and just get those stress hormones out. Understand that rejection is loss and that you may experience some or all of the 5 stages of grief. And the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. These 5 stages are a natural part of grief, and it's completely human of you to experience all of them. This comes with a caveat because one of the muddiest phases of grief is denial. And frustrated daters that haven't found love, they tend to carry a pattern of denial where they don't change their ways, their habits, or their perspectives. And that can be very dangerous. It's important for you to take a look at the experience as a learning lesson. Think about, is this possible that this has nothing to do with me, that we're just not a good fit? Or is it possible maybe I didn't listen enough or pay attention enough to the person and ask the right questions? While you might feel really rejected in the moment, it's important for you to grow to learn acceptance. So what I'd like for you to do is grab a journal, and I'd like for you to write down the facts of the situation. Not your feelings, but facts. Feelings will keep you attached. It'll push you into the spiral of why. Facts will be absolutely just truth and logic. So list all those out. Look at some relationship history and patterns, right? Is there a theme that's going on with all your relationships? And do you notice maybe if it's a theme of emotionally unavailable partners, there may be some work that needs to be done in yourself, because like attracts like. Again, if you're raised in a home with dysfunctional relationships, then you need to go out and seek healthy relationships. What does that look like? And if you need some help with that, I'll leave a link below with my programs that help you build a relationship plan so that you know what a good and healthy relationship looks like for you. And lastly, it's important to acknowledge those emotions. And if you're having a hard time doing that, it might be time to reach out to therapists. You know, one of the things that a lot of my clients do is they work with me alongside with a therapist, and the therapist will help them create awareness to the feelings of fear and emotions that they've been denying. And with awareness that these singles have when they come to me, I'm able to teach them the skills to help them get a great relationship. So we work really well hand in hand. I'll go ahead and leave a link below from Psychology Today with a directory of therapists, psychologists to work with. So right now more than ever, self-nurture is so important. Go draw yourself a bath, light up some candles, put some relaxing music on, and take care of yourself, okay? And again, if you have any questions, please leave them below. I do reply. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.